All right, let's go. It really doesn't matter if you had a good weekend or a bad weekend. At least you weren't the guy responsible for having to pick up and move Caleb Williams' mouthpiece out of the end zone. It has been a really crazy week, as we had to unfortunately add another name to the list of those who have been killed because of their words. It just really sucks when time gets called for the wrong person. I think we could all do a little collective healing if we allow one of these for everyone who is affected. If you're anything like me, you didn't know Charlie, but it felt like you did. So I'm not gonna lie, the past few days have been kinda rough. Granted, not as bad as JB Pritzker had it on his way to stop Trump from deporting all his new voters, and definitely not as bad as it's going for the Chicago football team, where actual bears are literally trying to commit suicide. So good morning to those watching in Australia. As always, we got a lot to talk about in this video, from Uncle Too Late, Jerome Powell, getting set to cut interest rates this week, to an inverse image that would have started riots in the streets of Charlotte, North Carolina. And from what it's like to work out in Iran, I mean Minnesota, to the most Karen of all time.
She was born with a complaint form in her hand. She's been divorced more times than she's been married. She steals baseballs from 10-year-old kids and then complains about how spoiled kids are these days. She calls the cops on kids' lemonade stands for not having a permit. She asks to speak to the manager before the store is even built. She gets in fights about spot stealing for street parking on streets she doesn't even live on. She is the most Karen woman in the world.
All right, let's start right here. It's time to man the harpoons as we listen in to Trump on crypto.
The modern financial system is changing every single day, and crypto is rewriting the rules.
And today, ladies and gentlemen, we must admit that crypto's time has come. For too long, the SEC has weaponized its investigatory subpoena and enforcement authorities to subvert the crypto industry. That approach was not only ineffective, but injurious. It drove jobs, innovation, and capital overseas. American entrepreneurs bore the brunt and have been forced to spend fortunes on building a legal defense instead of a business.
We also see this from Goldman Sachs, who expects a wave of interest rate cuts until rates reach between 3 and 3.25%. Goldman thinks we could see 3 cuts this year in September, October, and December, plus 2 more rate cuts in 2026. But not everyone is so bullish on where this market may be headed.
I can't tell you where it's going to be in 10, 15 years from now, but after a correction that I do think we are close to, and I will go on record and say I do think Bitcoin's going back to at least $75,000 a coin, probably by early 2026. But I do think at some point it goes a lot higher, and then we'll just have to see how the whole world-ending type scenario comes into play with it. But I do think that, again, society is craving an alternative to fiat currencies, and Bitcoin is that answer for now, along with gold, and people are willing to accept it. And as long as people accept it and can access it freely, then that still has a place in the future.
And this is pretty interesting. We had the highest daily close for both the Total2 and the Total3 in history. Total2 is the combined crypto market cap of all coins and tokens except for Bitcoin, and Total3 is the combined market cap minus Bitcoin and Ethereum. If we take a look over here, Cassie Trades predicts XRP is breaking out of consolidation and targeting $4.50. The price recently tested $3 resistance, with bullish momentum building as we look at this RSI trend. And here's a clip of Charlie Kirk that you may not have seen. Was he a secret XRP investor?
Are you pro crypto? I've never seen you talk about crypto. Yeah,
very pro crypto.
You got some Bitcoin?
I actually have better stuff than that. I am a significant investor in the plumbing of how crypto is made.
Really?
So I won't say any more than that. But
in some ways, we're plumbers. Like, we're enabling a much more efficient plumbing.
And this is something you really need to be paying attention to. President Trump is preparing to open the $9 trillion US retirement market to Bitcoin and crypto investments. But here's the thing, you don't have to wait for that policy shift. I'm already doing it with iTrust Capital, and not just because I'm partnered with them, I actually use their platform to grow my crypto in a tax-advantaged IRA. With iTrust Capital's crypto IRA, you can buy and sell over 80 digital assets, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP inside a retirement account where trades grow tax-deferred or even tax-free. No capital gains headaches every time I take profit, which is huge for your long-term strategy. They're partnered with Coinbase Custody, Fidelity Digital Assets, so the security is institutional grade, the platform is simple to use, available 24/7, and there are no monthly account fees, just a flat 1% transaction fee. I'm building my retirement with crypto right now, and iTrust is the tool I trust to do it. If you're thinking about stacking Bitcoin or other assets for the long haul, this is the way. Links below to check out iTrust Capital. All right, let's take a look at some of the other top headlines, and we'll start right here, because if you want to get to the answer, first you have to understand what is the problem.
Well, the problem is on the left. If you look at the problem is on the left. It's not on the right, like some people like to say on the right. The problem we have is on the left. And when you look at the agitators, you look at the scum that speaks so badly of our country, the American flag burnings all over the place, that's the left, that's not the right.
Information is still coming out regarding the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and while there is an endless amount of clips I could play, I think this one really stands out.
Leaving the Charlie Kirk vigil in Philly, and let me tell you, I'm now knowing that the Republican Party is full of the most inclusive people, okay? For all of you asking yesterday on TikTok whether I was going to show up in full makeup, I did. This is what the right does. We come together for the greater good. And I said something this morning. I was a little hesitant on coming because I was like, I don't know what to expect. I don't know who's going to be here. I don't know, anything. But then I thought about something that Charlie Kirk said, and he always used to say, never surrender. And that's what we did. We're never going to surrender. And this guy that did this to him, kind of like what Erica Kirk said, you have no idea what you guys just started, because now's the time we're going to speak louder. That was confirmation for me.
Personally, I'll wait to pass judgment on the killer until we learn more facts. The fact remains that we all lost someone, and I don't know if there will ever be another Charlie Kirk.
I wanted to come on here and talk about the death of someone I looked up to, Charlie Kirk. And I wanted to say that it is disrespectful how people are making Fortnite memes and talking bad about him like he was a horrible person. All he did was have boldness in his faith with Jesus Christ. Like, you guys are so mean to people just because they have beliefs. We, as Christians, we respect you for your beliefs, but we tell you what's wrong and what's right, righteously. But you do not need to be making fun of him because a tragedy has happened.
People forget that I'm a moderate. Charlie was a moderate as well. But the psycho left has been poking a sleeping bear with sticks, calling the bear names, stealing the bear's wallet, and have actually begun shooting the bear. But this isn't an ordinary bear, folks. No. No, it's not. This, of course, is what scholars refer to as a metaphor. So, if I were a miserable lefty who hated my dad and thought John Oliver was a real looker, I'd pause here and ask myself, do I want to keep poking this bear? Or do I want my face to be ripped off in a horrific bear accident?
We don't know why that man did what he did. We don't know how to deal with people who were hurting in the way this man was hurting. Hurt people hurt people. What happened was horrible. No one mentioned the word race, white, black, or anything except him.
Sure, the young innocent woman was slaughtered from behind, but let's consider the pain of the hurting man.
Unfortunately, Jesse, I think it's perfectly obvious why the media deep sixes this particular story. And the answer is perfectly obvious when you look at the races of the people involved. If this had been a black victim and a white perpetrator, then it would have led the news nightly for months on end. You would have had riots in the streets. If it's the reverse situation, the media will completely ignore it because it doesn't match up with their preferred narrative of a white supremacist country that is cracking down on black people, even though statistically speaking, obviously, the vast majority of crime is intra-racial, meaning white on white or black on black. Black on white crime on a per capita basis is significantly higher than white on black crime. That does not match up with the media narrative about white supremacy in the United States.
PPI, wholesale inflation for August, expected to be up 0.3. No. Down 0.1%. Down 0.1. Wow, that would be the first negative number since April of this year when it was minus 0.2. If you strip out food and energy, we're also expecting up 0.3. It's minus 0.1 as well.
Exciting news right here. It was only a matter of time. I am now officially endorsing Peyton Jackson. For anyone wondering who is about to replace Jasmine Crockett, take some time to look into Peyton Jackson as she looks to secure a seat in the U.S. House of Representatives, 44th District in Texas. This is pretty interesting. Sex for rent agreements are becoming increasingly popular in Canada, giving new meaning to the phrase, "I'm late with the rent." Rand Paul to subpoena Dr. Fauci to testify under oath after Fauci was caught demanding emails be deleted to cover his tracks. Biden's supposed pardon for Fauci does not cover lying to Congress. Charging Fauci with perjury is the quickest route to throwing him in prison. Paul is demanding a laundry list of information Fauci had or used between January 2018 and January 2023, outlined in his letter to Dr. Tony. That news is so good, it deserves a little no-look fuck you. And with all the horrible events that have gone on over the past week, I guess the one silver lining is that no one on the left got offended. So instead of unnecessary and expensive rioting for no reason, the country is coming together to heal the right way. So you know I'll be watching and I'll keep you updated with any new information.
Smart people don't like me.
Despite what anybody says, just remember that life is a marathon, not a sprint. Sometimes the best way to get over a problem is to just take that first step of acceptance. I agree that a lot of progressive/liberal policies do sound like noble causes that look good on paper. It's just when you start to break them down and analyze, they just don't make any sense. Guys, the next time your wife or girlfriend says they want you to listen to them more, this is what they mean. They literally want you to get arrested for how much listening you are doing.
I just got my hair done. Bitch said I got my hair done.
Do you think ICE is not going to show up around voting and polling booths to chill participation? You know that. The National Guard, you know that. Everybody knows what's at stake, so we have to put a...
Gavin, honey, that's a little odd because it's only legal for U.S. citizens to vote. And as a Latina and a U.S. citizen, I standing outside voting polls isn't going to deter me from going to go vote because it is my right to go vote. It is entirely legal for me to go vote. The only people that it would deter from going to go vote are the people who shouldn't be voting because it is illegal for them to vote.
And if you have a couple more minutes, you may have missed my last video where Trump tells us XRP is about to go parabolic. I am aware that this video may not have been as funny as most of the previous videos. It really has been a very sad few days, but we'll move on. We'll get stronger. Until the next time, be safe.